I've been interested in making art since I was a child. When I was a kid, I was really good at drawing, and I would sort of get into drawing competitions with other kids in my class. I think the first time I started taking it really seriously was when I transferred to an arts high school in New York. I'm in grad school now and I'm about to finish, so I'm about to be on my own finally. I try not to have a specific process for any work because I feel like it could just easily get tied down or become formulaic, so I try to keep it open. But I think generally for my drawings, I always start with a sketch, and the ideas for drawings always come from daydreams or dreams, like ideas that I have on the train or in the shower, like moments of rest or of like slowness when I'm sort of thinking of what could be or sort of longing for more. And that sort of materializes into like these quick images that I try to sort of solidify through drawing. And I have like a list on my phone of ideas for drawings and sculptures that I hope to get to at some point. It's like sort of a backlog, and they're sort of meant to be like a rebellion against like the everyday or against monotony. That's why they sort of seem to take images of like the everyday and sort of like be the opposite, or like bring opposite feelings against that. Like for example, like when you're sitting on the train, your feet are like planted on the ground. And so that's why a lot of these drawings show like feet sort of up in the air or like on the ceiling, because it's sort of like the opposite of that moment, and sort of trying to feel freedom through these sort of simple moments of like imagination. The movement for my works tend to be pretty simple. It's either a repetitive spinning or a dragging or like a back and forth. I'm trying to work within like a very limited knowledge of kinetic stuff, mechanisms and electricity. So I'm sort of bound by like a limited knowledge. I sort of like that because it feels more generative to work within limits or limitations rather than like have a whole world of possibility for making things. I like the chaos and sort of simplicity of the movements and how the clunkiness sort of becomes part of the intrigue behind these things, and it ultimately makes them feel more human. I've heard before also that the repetitive motion feels frustrating and also feels a little bit sad, like these objects are sort of forced to move but never are amounting to anything, so I'm sort of dragging them along, and that's something I've been contending with but also leaning into. Like in this most recent sculpture, this thing is spinning, but it's being spun by like these spikes which are damaging it while it spins. It like creates these little indentations, and so I've been trying to make sculptures that are actually affecting change or changing while they're moving. Kinetic works have to be maintained all the time. I think that's just the part of making sculpture that I like. Like it's always a struggle, and I'm always contending with reality and physics in a way that I don't expect. At Hunter, we have a mid-program review. You do like a sort of installation of your work for all the faculty. I wanted to show like a group of kinetic sculptures, but I wanted to make a context for them, like have them all sort of be in a family together. So I made like a 16-foot wooden stage that they all were moving on, sort of like a dance floor. I was really interested by how it came out because all these spinning things moving together was so chaotic and loud, like not melodic, or like it was kind of fun but like really like kind of scary, and that was really interesting. But it also made me think about other ways that I can contextualize my sculptures so that they're not just like discrete objects in a room, but how I can like sort of create a world for them in very simple ways that can sort of have them feel like they exist in the same world. A lot of children really love my sculptures, which I love. Like we have open studios a lot here, and sometimes kids come around and they just want to touch everything, and like they love the spinning things because a lot of these are based on toys, like children's toys mixed with like tools. I always love when kids can get excited by art because it means it doesn't have to be like this intellectual thing. I have this really funny show. I have these two friends who are starting a gallery in a trash can, and so I'm making a work that's going to be in a trash can. It's a solo show, but it's this thing that spins around and it's going to hit the sides of the trash. It's going to be called Cherry. But it's like balls to the wall vibes. Do crazy things. Don't make art that you think is what you should do or what you think looks like art. It's easy to not know what to make, and I think it's okay to take from other artists or to reference other artists and be direct about it. I am not afraid of being honest about the artists that I love and that I draw from, and I think it's normal for any artist to have like a network or a constellation of people that their work is like inspired by.